Welcome to SAT 3310. This is our introduction to PowerShell as a scripting language in Windows. When we're looking at PowerShell, this is just the idea that it's a command line shell, but it's also a very powerful scripting language. And the whole idea was that PowerShell was built just for task and configuration, automation, management. It's really designed for system administrators. I have to admit, as much as I had my reservations about a Microsoft product, I'm really starting to understand the elegance of PowerShell, despite the fact that it was built on a .NET framework, which historically has had issues. So with Windows, you know that originally it was command.com and then it was cmd.exe, and now really Windows wants you to replace both those ideas with just PowerShell.exe. PowerShell, it started out in some different names. It had in beta. Really, the first PowerShell was in about 2007, so it's been technically around for many years. PowerShell 2.0 came out with the Windows 7 2008 series, PowerShell 3 with Windows 8 Server 2012, PowerShell 4, and now with Windows 10, PowerShell 5. As of very recently, there is the PowerShell Core and .NET Core, so you can run PowerShell on different systems. Like you can actually run PowerShell on your Mac and run PowerShell on Linux. PowerShell has this idea of extensibility with commandlets. So these are going to let you do things like manage your Windows registry, different services, event logs, that sort of thing. PowerShell has PowerShell providers, which allows you to access data stores, let's say like your SQL and stuff like that. PowerShell also lets you sift through your Windows registry more like it was a file system, which if you do a lot of registry work is a really powerful tool. And then of course PowerShell is also a scripting language. Like I said, PowerShell is now available not just on Windows but also on Mac and Linux. Officially, it's supported on CentOS and Ubuntu. So you see I've got a screenshot there of PowerShell running on Mac and a PowerShell running on an Ubuntu system. If you look at this link, I strongly suggest you follow this link. This link will actually compare different Linux commands that you might be familiar with, like ls, for example, for looking at files in a directory, and tell you what the equivalent PowerShell command is. So it's a very nice Rosetta Stone for looking at different PowerShell commands. The idea to keep in mind is that PowerShell uses this verb-noun sort of idea. So it's a verb followed by a noun. So in PowerShell, these are all valid PowerShell commands. You want to get help, or you're going to use PowerShell to display a variable to the screen, you would write output variable name. Or if you wanted to set a value to something, you would say set variable and then set it. So it's this verb noun sort of syntax. And you'll see once you start using PowerShell, so this is actual PowerShell code. So in this example, I set a string and then I'm going to write to the host system that string. It becomes a very fluid and almost natural way of writing scripting. This is just a screenshot of what this is an actual code, but I just want to bring your attention to this. When you first run a PowerShell script, by default, PowerShell access is disabled. So you'll notice in one of the first labs that you'll need to enable your system to run PowerShell. I highly recommend you check out this Microsoft link for getting more information on PowerShell. There's also extensive online help when you're in the PowerShell by using the verb noun get help. And you can then even get help on other PowerShell commands. There's even an option with get help to say get help examples, and it will actually give you example code for the item that you're looking for help on.